आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववरः प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम् न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववरः प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम् न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्. Tell me who you are. Agrarupaha, fierce in form. Namostute Devavara Prasidha. Salutation to you, O Supreme Lord. Prasida, have mercy. I desire to know you. Adhyam, the primeval. I know not indeed your pravrittim. I don't know what's your purpose. Now, the verses 26 to 34, we have been noticing the topic covers the all-consuming and the destructive expression of the Supreme Being. So, the previous few verses also we read where there is a mention of destruction. And here too there is a mention of the Lord being perceived agrarupaha in the form of destruction, in a fierce form. He says, you are fierce in form. And in that fierce form, Arjuna is confused, poor fellow. He is forgetting to realize that he is actually having a conversation with his childhood friend, dear Krishna. In fact, it's only two people talking. The conversation is between Lord Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And after 10 chapters in the 11th chapter, midway, he's saying, who are you? Something is not right. I hope you will not tell, who are you? You should recognize me, who I am. You have known me enough. So Krishna had known each other, Arjuna and Lord Krishna known each other from childhood. And yet he says, who are you? Fierce in form. So why is it he says, who are you? He is not able to recognize the divinity. He is not able to identify what is the concept here. Most of us are not able to relate to this. We're not able to apply this. We're not able to connect with this idea. So this difficulty in Arjuna, able to identify with the self, with the Brahman in the concept of destructiveness. We are not able to relate Brahman, we're not able to relate divinity to the process of destruction. Because what is it that we have been portrayed? Everybody portrays Lord to be all merciful, kind, forgiving, loving. This is the concept, this is the picture of the Lord has been portrayed. He is all merciful, all benevolent, full of love, all kindness, all mercy. Enna vena pannunga, I will forgive you. Whatever atrocities you commit, God will forgive you. Appa, thank you very much. I have few more list in the to fulfill. I will finish that and wholesale ninga forgive pannungo. Huh? God has got nothing else to do but to forgive your stupidity. No, that is another discussion for another day. But the picture is God has already been portrayed as an object of forgiveness, as an object of love, as an object of mercy, as an object of a good beginning. But none of us are able to relate to the Lord as an object of destruction? Are we able to appreciate destruction also as the play of providence? Are we able to appreciate end also as a part and parcel of life? We are not able to accept the realities of life. We only look at God partially in the process of creation. We are not able to see the play of providence or the play of reality in the process of destruction. If I don't lose, who will win? If I don't die, somebody has to survive. That process of birth and death is a continuous process. So just to drive home the point, he says your fears inform. So last week we used the term, we mentioned of the concept that we must learn to accept, we must learn to celebrate an end as much as we celebrate a beginning. Celebrate in the sense it's an acceptance. It's a graceful acceptance. It is not that when somebody dies, you start celebrating. Please don't do that. I don't mean celebration in that sense. Celebration in the sense is a graceful acceptance. Allow it to happen because that has to happen. The problem is when it comes to one's own, when it comes to you, you can't accept it. It's because you have failed to look at the reality of life. So these few verses is only trying to, again, what is Vedanta? What is the one word for Vedanta? SR. So you must be thinking you should give a little time when you ask question, no? You ask a question, immediately you expect answers. I could read your mind.
Many answers are there. I don't know which answer to be given.
So in the context, this is where in the context, we are talking about death or destruction as an inevitable part of life, but we are not able to accept it when it comes to one's own, right?
Yes.
And in that context, I said there is one word for Vedanta. What is that one word for Vedanta which drives home that point?
Selflessness. Anyway, that doesn't connect with this word.
Thank you. You yourself said it. That is. You need to think along with me. Then it comes.
Yes.
Then you're able to come to the conclusion. You're thinking along with me. You're able to relate to the context.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, Guruji.
So what is that one word, or that concept rather? It's a one-word answer. What is Vedanta in short? Think along, sir.
Yes, Guruji.
I'm only looking at one-word answers. Harish.
Wisdom. We have the wisdom to know that this is part of the process of life. So with that wisdom, we are able to accept this gracefully. So wisdom is the one word that I come up with.
Mm-hmm. But what does wisdom help you to do?
It gives us the capacity to analyze the rationale and logic behind this.
And
to understand that this is a process of life, and we have to accept the opposites of life as part of the whole. Like life is a pair.
you are absolutely right. But then what after that? Not that you're wrong, Harish. You're absolutely right.
With that with that wisdom and with that knowledge, we have a complete understanding. So we know that it is part of our journey that we have to face and accept based on our own karmas as well. When there is birth, there is death. There is part of our karmic process. With that knowledge, we understand how it all falls into place. Hence, we understand why it's happening.
All right. Yes, Venkateshan sir.
If there is a birth, then death is inevitable. When you can accept birth, then you have to accept death also.
No, very much. You're very correct. But then this understanding or this Vedantic knowledge, how does it help us? What is that one word or that concept that would help us relate to this fact of life? Wherever there is a beginning, there has to be an end. You must see the play of divinity in death and destruction as well. Not just celebrating birth, you must celebrate death. It is all part and parcel of life. It's all God's play, if you look at it that way. So why are we not able to look at it that way? Because we don't look at it as a play of divinity, as a play of providence. We don't look at it because we only associate positivity to God. We don't associate destruction to God. So that association of thought, it doesn't come into our mind naturally. Therefore, there is this mention of God in a fierce form. Accept God also as responsible for destruction. He has got everything to do with creation. If he has got anything to do with creation, he has got everything to do with destruction. So the thought process where I'm getting at is that concept of Vedanta, which helps us to relate to the fact of life, is it gives a sense of readiness. It prepares us to face the eventualities of life. When we talk of death, when we talk of an end before the inevitable end comes, if we talk of loss before the actual loss comes, that preparation of a loss helps you to accept the loss with a grace. If you're not prepared for a loss, when that loss happens, it gives you a jolt of life. It shocks you. You're not able to prepare the knocks, able to absorb the knocks and shocks of life. So the very word for Vedanta is said to be a knowledge, a preparation to life. It prepares you to face the eventualities of life. It prepares you to face the challenges of life. In fact, it's a knowledge which should be learned before you enter the arena of life. As simple as that. It's a preparatory knowledge. It's like you learn the know-how of driving and then you start driving and perfecting it. But you don't start driving without knowing the know-how of it. So that know-how of life, the very preparation to life, is Vedanta. Sadly, we have not understood it where it fits into our lives, as a result of which it finds itself somewhere at the fag end of our lives, or not at a point where it should be needed. You know, I'm reminded of the Kabir Doha. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न को, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे, दुख काहे को होए कबीरा, दुख काहे को होए. What does it mean? One who is able to think or invest or reflect on this wisdom in the times of success and joy. Where is sorrow for such a person? Because he has insulated himself from the potential sorrow. But if you think of the higher in the moments of despair, in the moments of sorrow, in the moments of tragedy, dukhume sumiran sab kare. Everybody thinks of the higher in the moments of distress, a moment of sorrow. But isn't that too late? Is the question. Most of us don't prepare to what life is going to throw at you. And since we don't prepare, so when should we prepare? When nothing is wrong with us. When everything is going fine, I must think of these ideas. Not when things are not going well. It's too late. Then the karma functions. You have to go through the suffering because you have not prepared yourself. As in a layman's term, it's like paying your insurance bills every year meticulously. Even before it's coming to an end, don't you go and find out, hey, when is it expiring? I know every year in the month of March there is an auto debit. I hope that there's enough funds in that account. I hope the debit process is happening. And if it doesn't happen, you'll run to the insurance company. Hey, what has happened? Why you're worried? Have you got any disease? No. In case anything happens, are you not worried? It's a net that protects you. So what is that net? What is that which protects you from the acceptance of the fierceness of life? The fierce in form refers to the destructive nature of life. You're not able to recognize the play of divinity in it. In the sense, you're not able to accept divinity, accept destruction in your life. That is because lack of preparation. That's how it should be perceived. That's the philosophical implication. And then the rest of the verse, he says, salutations to you, O Supreme God, have mercy. I desire to know the primeval. I know not indeed your purpose. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the Lord? Creation and destruction, nothing else. Don't attribute anything else to the Lord. In fact, Vedanta goes one step ahead. What is that one step ahead? One is to attribute creation and destruction to the Lord. What is one step ahead of it? God has got nothing to do with creation. God has got nothing to do with destruction. It is not the cause. God is not the cause for it happening, nor is God responsible for the destruction. Everything is a play of. What is it the play of? It's all the play of your mind. The entire world, the creation, destruction is happening because of what? Because of your own vasanas. The individuality is born because of your vasanas. The individuality dies because of your vasanas. So when you understand it, there's a birth and death happening because of your vasanas that needs expression. Vasanas have been fructified and fulfilled. Therefore, I move on. If you understand it from an individual perspective, it is not difficult to understand from a macro perspective. There is destruction at a micro level. The same destruction happens at the macro level. 100-odd people died because of earthquake which happened in Japan a week ago. How is it possible? And far more people are yet to be accounted for. So there is a destruction happening at a large scale. One is loss of life. Other is so much of devastation happening. What is responsible for that? certain lands are blessed, certain lands are cursed. Why is it? Certain people are relatively blessed, certain people are all the time struggling. Why is it? There has to be a reason, no? For 1 minute, let's take God out of the equation, please. If we take the God or providence out of the equation and see why is somebody going through a particular phase of life and why is another goes through a certain phase of life, what is the reason? The only reason is one's own vasanas, one's own actions. See, vasanas are the cause, actions are the effect, fruits of that is the further effect. So it is the karma and the karma phala. So it is the actions and the consequences of one's actions is only responsible for the journey of life. Could be micro, could be macro. So when you talk of Japan, I'm nothing against a particular place or a country. What have I got to do with it? There's nothing. But when you look at that country, when you look at the history of that country, what have they done? I mean, the whole world is opposing that they should not go and do fishing and whaling. They will give justification for scientific research and they keep continuing to whale. Millions and millions, countless innocent creatures are slaughtered every day. Cost of who is responsible for the pain and destruction caused to that kingdom, the animal kingdom? Who is responsible for that? Do you mean to say my action of destruction is goes neglected, unaccounted for? And when you take a community, a country at large, as a whole goes in a particular wave, it has to have a backlash. So that country is all the time in a zone of fear, where in a single day there were 150 after wave effects. They are, every time they get to bed, there's fear. Am I going to get up? Am I going to get up? Constantly in fear. Now, any one of us have that fear. We don't live with that fear. But why is it that particular land is going through that fear? I'm just trying to put a rational sense to it. Now, I don't wish anybody to go through that. But when somebody is continuously subjected to that again and again, every action has to have a consequence. Now, you can't take the justification people give is anyway they have to die one day, no? So therefore I'll be instrumental for their death and I'm only being an instrument. In the next verse he's going to say, let us not take that, play the role of providence here. In fact, he says, I'm already, they're anyway going to die. You be a mere instrument, he says. Let's not do that. Let's not play the role of God here. But am I being constructive or am I being destructive? So if you take that particular principle in mind, the consequences are whether it is in your favor or against you. So it happens at the micro level, at the macro level. That's the ultimate thing. God has got nothing to do with your anything favorable happening to you or unfavorable happening to you. God has got nothing to do with it. It's only to do with your vasana. So make your choices wise. If you make wise choices, you'll only create a better karma for yourself. But this is only divinizing that you accept it gracefully. There is no contradiction in these two standpoints. Okay? 32, please. A very, very famous verse, in fact, this is. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Kalosmi Lokakshayakrit Pravriddhaha Lokan Samahartumiha Pravrittaha Rite pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthitha pratyanikeshu yodhaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi Lokakshaya Krit Pravriddhaha Lokan Samahartu Nima Miha Pravrittaha Rite Pitvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Yeva Sthita Pratyanikeshu Yodhaha. The Blessed Lord spoke. I think after a while he's speaking throughout few verses. Arjuna has been speaking, I am the mighty world destroying time, now engaged here in annihilating the worlds. So he says, I am the all destroying, the all devouring time, where the entire world is being destroyed. I am annihilating the entire world, even without you, referring to Arjuna. All these warriors arrayed in the opposing armies shall not live. Yodha, the warriors, shall not live in the future, will certainly die. I am the Lokakshayakrit, the destroying worlds. What is that which is destroying the world and destroying everything? He says, I am the Kalaha, Kalosmi, Lokakshayakrit Pravriddhaha. I'm destroying the worlds, I'm annihilating the worlds. What is that, Jama? You're asking?
That one word, Guruji, which you were asking for, Vedanta, did I miss it?
Oh, you're still with that. I didn't mention that, didn't I?
No, Guruji.
I didn't mention that. Gayatri Ma. Mention பண்ணலையே அந்த வேர்டு நீங்க வேற என்ன எஸ் மேம் நோ மேம் நீங்க எஸ் சொல்றீங்க what is that one SR I told that one word no they are not trusting me I hope you got note of it.
It's a very good word. It's very simple because I was always breaking my word whenever somebody says I'm attending Vedanta classes. I say, what are you learning from that? So it's very nicely put forward. Know how to lead life.
So know how to lead life. It's a preparation to live, to face life. In fact,
even
you can write.
Even in the businesses also,
you can say that.
Provide a technology. You need a know-how. Without that, you cannot lead the businesses. The know-how to the management.
Redigar, you can say two things: know how to life, and a preparation to face life.
Yes.
So know how to live and to prepare yourself to face consequence of life. It's a know-how or a preparation. That's all. So I thought we said that, Jama, right?
Thank you.
I didn't spell it out candidly, but I explained that concept. Right. So he says, I am the all devouring time. And have we not time and again, in fact, have we not experienced this truth? That time consumes everything relentlessly, constantly. Time, if we were to have all the memory of all the sorrow and all the pain that we go through in life, if we were to remember all of that right now, Vasantama, all the challenges we have gone through in life, all the difficult moments, all the pain and agony and the the challenges we've gone through, and if all that were to be vivid and as fresh in our memories right now, can you tell me what would happen to us?
I think we would all crumble. We would devastate.
There's no better word than that. We all will be crushed and crumble, incapacitated to handle it. Imagine all of that in one moment, and it is still there. Impossible, isn't it? Perhaps you go through some pain, you make a mistake, there's an error, it lingers over for a while, isn't it? You made some mistakes, you made some follies, there are certain errors, you made wrong decisions, you paid a price for being emotional at a moment or two. There is a certain freshness, but after a while, what will happen? As I say, have we not heard from wise people? They say that time heals it. Don't worry. Everything dies with time. Everything is taken care by time. Don't worry. Don't worry. So how is it that the Lord, in fact, in the Gita, elsewhere, I can't recall which chapter he says this, he says, I am the forgetfulness in you, he says. I am the apohanam. The apohanam, the quality is outstanding, that quality of forgetfulness where you are not able to recap or keep the freshness of your past memories. Though we make the mistake of reliving them. If you've forgotten, for God's sake, don't go back to the past memories and say past 50s club, past 60s club, college club, social school club, reunion club. Why are you digging your past and kindling and living in the past dead memories? Live in the moment. Let the past go. It is all done and dusted. Let it be there. Don't go on reunion parties going on everywhere. And you celebrate reunions. If you are not having enough parties, please find a reason to celebrate. Life itself is a celebration. But what's important is, I said, there's a very, very famous verse where he says, all these warriors shall die. And he's saying so to Arjuna, without your intervention, without you getting involved, they will die. Now, this verse has been misunderstood to mean that everything in life is predestined or predetermined. It has been misconstrued when he says that all these warriors shall not live, they will die. When he says that, he's saying, oh, their death is predetermined or predefined. There's no such thing as, Vedanta does not believe anything in predetermining or predestining. Nothing is predestined with reference to one's life. There may be some who may agree with me. There may be some who may disagree with me. Whether you agree or not, you need to put that to your rational consideration, that if you believe life is predetermined, then where is the chance of your effort or purushartha? The effort or your present action has no relevance if everything is predetermined or predefined. So you cannot predict your future. You can only project your future. There's a difference between prediction and projection. Now, many people they have a weakness in wanting to know what their future would be. That's why they go to these soothsayers, their palmists, and all who are these people who read your stars and planets and whatnot. They go and surrender to those opinions of people because they are able to somehow, or they make you believe that your future would be this. But there is a difference between prediction and projection. Vedanta says you can't predict your future, but you can project your future. What's the difference between the two? అప్పారావు గారు ఏంటి ఉన్నట్టున్నారు ఇక్కడ క్లాస్లో ఉన్నారా లేరా?
I'm there. I'm listening to the class. I'm driving. So, can you hear me, Guruji?
Yes, I can hear you now clearly, sir. చెప్పండి.
So I'm there. Actually, I'm driving. I'm listening to your class intently. So predicting, if you're predicting it is something that you do not know what would be. If you're projecting it, you know what you want to be and where you're going to be.
Predicting is you don't know, you're uncertain about your future. Projection is you take
you want to be somewhere and you're actually steering your path to that particular goal. You're projecting yourself to a particular goal or a vision, whatever you have in your mind.
Projection rightly is an intelligent evaluation with reference to your current efforts. With your goal in mind, you're able to foresee where would you be. So that is an intelligent projection with taking your facts into consideration. And
Yes,
even
good.
then
Yeah.
you give yourself that plus minus, that there would be eventualities, there will be certain challenges. You take all that into account and you intelligently project, isn't it?
That's right. And
Right.
there will be definitely some aberrations. What are the goal you have planned for, and that is, you can only plan your life, but ultimately the goal is predetermined, Guruji.
Ayo, I thought you were in my favor. You are opposition party. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm not
Please
in opposition party.
please
The thing
block
is,
Apparao Garu. Please block him. I don't entertain opposition parties.
Democracy, Guruji.
No, I am not democratic. No, wife also supporting husband. This is dangerous combination. I have to be very careful. Now, how can you say goal is predetermined, sir?
so for example, I may put lot of efforts, but still my efforts may not give me the result. That is the reason we have that famous Gita sloka. The thing is, as a life, you can only plan what, and you can put your efforts, you can do your karma, but you cannot, phala is not in your hands.
No, that has nothing. No, phala is not in your hand. Does not mean that your goal or fruit is predetermined. How can you conclude to that to that understanding? See, the karma. So the fruits of your action are not just a faithful reflection of this action. Please understand that. I may put in maximum effort, but if the fruits are not in my favor, is it because of my lack of effort in the present? Not because of my lack of effort in the present. It is because of the backdrop of my past destiny. My purva karma, which I have done, that past destiny is influencing my present effort, which will determine the future fruit. You're not taking the past into account. What have I done so far? So those actions and the karma phala of my past actions will influence my effort today. Example, my present effort to earn is independent, right?
Yeah, Guruji.
Let me put it in writing, sir, so we understand there are the different factors that are influenced here. What is the bank balance? Is your destiny, and destiny always will refer to the present, which is your present destiny, the bank balance. The past transactions is your past actions your ability to earn is purushartha, which is independent. Now, what we are saying is the present is influenced by your past actions and its fruits. It only influences the present. The past does not influence your, okay, this is self-effort. In short, I'm saying your past does not influence your self-effort. Means whatever I wish to do, whatever I want to do, the past does not influence that. But when the future is not in your favor, is because of the past actions is influencing the future results. Or rather, let me put this way. How does the past influence the future? The past influences the present, and that reflects in the future. But your self-effort remains independent throughout. Your ability to change your future is always there. So if my bank balance is 10,000 rupees, it is 10,000 because of all my past credits and debits. But my bank balance today doesn't limit me my capacity to earn, isn't it? I can earn 1 lakh rupee, I can earn 10 lakh rupee. But my ability to earn is not influenced by my bank balance or what I've done in the past. So when you're able to project your future, the future is based on your current efforts and your past performances. You take your past performances, you take your present effort and say, this is what I would be in the future. But when you don't get the result in the future, it's not necessary that your efforts have not been 100%. It's because your past has not been in your favor. So if your past is negative, like if you have, let's say, a loan of 10 lakhs, and every time you put in present effort and every month, let's say you keep depositing a savings of 50,000 rupees into your account, after 4 months, you go to the manager and say, why is my account still showing minus 8 lakhs, not plus 2 lakhs? He says, sir, you have started with minus 10. So every time you're paying 50,000, it's actually going into the paying of the loan. Minus 10, minus 8 is also better than minus 10, but it will not show as positive 2. Though you are better off from minus 10, you're minus 8 better off, but it will still show negative. Therefore, we are always told, never depend on the the fruit. Keep performing your karma, keep performing your action. This is the point, Aparagaru. Are you with me, sir?
Yeah, Guruji, I'm with you.
You're not with me. You're somewhere traveling, you said, no?
No. Mentally, I'm with you.
Thank you, Ji. So you're following?
Yeah, I'm following. The thing is, my idea of saying that it is a predestined is that it is not in total hands of how you steer your current life, because it's a predestined, because the outcome is also a resultant of your past karma or past vasanas or whatever you're carrying to this life from your past life. So what you're saying is that you can reduce whatever the damage that is going to happen in the current life, and also improve your future life. Yes, yeah, by uh, by acquiring and the good karma. That's what I'm saying.
So Vedanta goes to the extent and says you are a master of your destiny. You are truly a master. You can do what you wish. It depends on your effort. You can completely nullify your past. No doubt we all are born into this embodiment with certain karmas, but the present effort has the capacity to completely nullify your past karmas. Now that depends how much effort is one able to put in, but that doesn't change the fact that you are a master. You are not a slave. You're a master. You're a master because it gives you the free will to do what you wish to do, and it comes through the purushartha, through the free will we enjoy, and we use the wisdom only to expound or exponentially influence the purushartha in the right direction. Because when you perform actions with the wisdom in the right direction, it has the capacity to nullify your past karmas and past actions, the choices and the actions you made in the past. Okay, sir?
Yeah, Guruji. Okay.
Right, sir.
I think, Guruji, there should be another debate on free will, Guruji. Sometimes
What do you mean debate?
Debate or some kind of explanation, because free will is something I was recently, I got a book, I was looking into it, and it's quite, he says there is no free will in this world.
Please show me the book before you read
Yeah.
anything. Get my approval before you read. You will read all sorts of things and you want to debate with me. I don't agree to all this. Huh?
Okay, Guruji.
Hari Om, sir.
Thank Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Harish.
Guruji, when you stated everything in life, I mean, people say everything, I mean, not people, I've had a lot of seniors, relatives, and family members in my life who've told me for the longest time since I was growing up that everything in life is predestined and predetermined. I must have heard this sentence maybe a million times throughout my life. And I've come, I mean, through the Vedanta knowledge, Guruji, I've come to understand that we are all accountable for ourselves and we have to own up to our own, the buck stops with us, bottom line. I'm trying to, when I have these conversations with the seniors, they always say everything is predetermined, predestined. I try and express my view that we're all accountable individually. So there's, like you said, there's no such thing as such. But most people, Guruji, are not willing to take accountability for their own actions. They say, oh, it was meant to be. It is predetermined. It is predestined. It's my luck. I must have heard this over 1,000,000 times in my lifetime, Guruji, and it's quite sad that nobody sees their own accountability of what they have done or why they've in that situation. So this gives me so much more clarity to know that yes, we have free will to make changes going forward from this very minute. So this has greatly helped me to stop believing those thought patterns, because I grew up with that thought patterns in the family and household and relatives. So just want to say thank you for breaking all the blueprints that were not serving me.
They were not serving because they were not right.
Yes, correct. But I was ignorant, and prior to the knowledge, I was so ignorant and just bought into those statements. But now with the wisdom coming our way, I am completely changing my blueprint of life, of my thought, deed, action, and work. So I just want to say thank you very much for.
Sir, you are the architect. You can change the blueprint whenever you want.
Yes, which I'm doing as I'm going along. I'm constantly refining the blueprint every day.
That's how it should be. I'm glad.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. I just wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Raviji.
See.
Unmuted. Namaskaram, sir.
Yes, sir. Namaskar.
I just, in this whole thing about astrology and free will determinism, it's an interesting subject, also something which perplexes.
So we will let you know the date of debate, sir.
No, not debate. It's a question. It's a question.
No. Since Apparo ji has been talking about a debate date, we will let you know, sir. We'll
No,
let
certainly.
everybody know.
At least I'll be a listener. I'll be a good listener, because it also perplexes me, bothers me, this question. Why I'm saying this, I have not run to astrologers, but I have done some astrological checks and so on. And in general, the past seems to be more predictable than the future. They're able to tell accurately about your past comparatively. But the future, things can go wrong. One thing that perhaps goes to show that you are the architect of your future and you can change things. But my question is very simple. When we say you are the architect of your future, you can change everything, are we saying that nothing is written and everything is possible? Or are we saying there is a future waiting for you, you don't know what it is, so you have to work towards it? Since you don't know what your future is, you have to do your best. Are we saying that? Or are we saying there is no future really written and it can be anything depending on what you do?
I think I would go with the first part, which you said that the future is not determined, is not predetermined, is not fixed, is entirely up to the actions and the choices one continues to make. So that's what Vedanta says. When it says an architect, it means that it's entirely in your hands. You are solely the master of. So when you say actions, it's your vasanas, no? My life is born by my vasanas. I am born into this embodiment because of my vasanas. I live and act based on my vasanas and the choices I make. And the depth also is determined by vasanas. So beyond the two factors, vasanas and the purushartha, which is intellect and the choices, all these three are one and the same. So in a nutshell, I'm saying there are two things that continues to influence our life, our vasanas and our purushartha. Beyond this, there's nothing else that is responsible for my existence, that's responsible for the path ahead, the journey I have led, and what I would become is only determined by vasanas and purushartha. There's nothing else beyond this. But if you bring in any other factor other than this, I would start questioning it.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, very well, sir. Please go ahead.
I just have a additional point here. Jyotisha is considered a Vedanga. It's part of our scriptures. And in our tradition, Jyotisham is both astrology and astronomy, both together. So by saying that the future is not predictable and it's not written, Are we contradicting Jyotisha? Are we saying Jyotisha is not correct? Or what are we saying when it comes to our traditional Jyotisha?
Sir, if you read carefully, the very Upanishads, the higher philosophical sections of the Vedas, denounce the lower Angas. They themselves, the Vedas, which are the highest Upanishads, which are the highest truths, they themselves denounce. Forget you and me having an opinion of what these Vedangas are. The Vedas themselves denounce the Vedangas. Upanishads is the Vedas. Take away the Upanishads is like taking away the Gita from the Mahabharata. It's just a story. It's just a textbook without any essence. So the Upanishads, which are the authoritative of Vedanta, they denounce the lower Angas. So if I'm only going by the authoritative text, you may want to heed to them, but don't sell yourself to them. Don't be sold. Don't sell your freedom and liberty to everybody. It's like I might lend my ears to you, but I would not become a slave to you. Like that, you may want to hear what everybody have to say, but end of the day, use your free will, use your choice of action, and make it happen as far as your actions are concerned. If somebody can influence you into bringing about a transformation in your thought and your action, please, but don't fall a prey to anything without a rational thought process.
Okay.
Let your purushartha constantly influence your choice and action. All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. So in the verse when he says that sama hartum, they will be annihilated, the worlds will be annihilated. What he means is these warriors will be annihilated by their own actions. They have asked for destruction by being unrighteous, referring to the Kauravas. They have led to an unrighteous path, so they've asked for destruction, so time will annihilate them. In that sense, the Lord means, even without you, all these warriors will be destroyed. There's a message. We'll take up one more, please. 33. Maybe one more point I just like to make. Raviji, when we talk of whether be the palmistry or the astrology or any of those schools of thought, who are the people who would go to them? It's only the weak minds that go to them. Those who believe in their abilities to perform karma, those who believe in who are strong-minded and strong-willed will not go to them. Otherwise, why would you want somebody to determine what would be your future? It's only the weak minds. The strong would not surrender to those unknown factors because you're dealing with something unknown. You better hold on to your strengths and convictions and act in your ability to change your future than I don't even know the existence of the stars and the planets or the streaks in my palm, and to believe that these streaks in my palms would determine what I would be in the future. A strong mind would just question their, but the weak would surrender because they lack the ability and the strength to perform their karma, to do their action. So that's where perhaps there is a great following. Even the Vastu, they believe Vastu, if I change the way I enter my house, my future and fortune will change. I remember visiting my cousin. Every time I visited his house, there used to be a lot of renovation work going on. I remember entering his home from the gate on the right side of the house, the gate. After 6 months, I entered, the gate was not there. We shifted to the left side. After a while, I visited again. The gate was being demolished. Somebody said you must enter from the center of the house. The gate was right in the center. So again, huge house. Imagine breaking the compound wall and shifting the gate. At one point, you'll not believe, sir, somebody had told him that you must enter the house through the bathroom. And the bathroom was the behind side. Not believe the bathroom was demolished. That used to be, so he said the position of the bathroom. So the bathroom position had to be created. It used to be something else, and then the bathroom was constructed such a beautiful entrance. And a bathroom, Reddy Garu, something which cannot be used. Obviously, the best of fittings, some imported that one, that taps, this style, that one has got. And then everybody's entering to the bathroom. And I said that was a joke. Believe me or not. Now, would you surrender to that, sir? Some other new Vastupala will come and say, no, this is not it. This to do something else. Your fortune will change. To believe that, to surrender to that, and to act on that is no reasoning, no intellect at all. So people are thriving because of the lack of rationality, the lack of self-belief in themselves. So they surrender to unknown factors. And one of the thumb rules which Vedanta says is don't get into areas of ignorance. That's one of the thumb rule you should never ever violate. Don't dabble with areas of ignorance. Exercise your reason and inquire and satisfy yourself before you plunge into it. But if you surrender beyond a point blindly, then you're in trouble. So even if you're going for a complicated surgery, you do enough research and survey. Ignorantly also, you are able to understand what you're being subjected to. What is a surgery? Is it required? You take so many views and opinions. You don't blindly go and surrender to them, do we? So these people bank on the ignorance and the certain the fear we have of our own future, and they encash that ignorance, and then many fall a prey to that. So Vedanta doesn't allow that by giving the reins into your hands and say, you are the architect, get control of your life, gain the wisdom, make the right choices, and then accept the consequences gracefully. Right, sir? It doesn't matter, Shivaji. இப்போ popular இருக்கு இல்லையா? Setuji.
Hari Om Guruji.
Yes, sir. Hari Om, sir.
Just this, see, maybe 2-3 decades back, Vastu was at its peak. And I always thought Vastu is a science, maybe based on ventilation, lighting, and not something to do with, because it is changing from region to region. In Tamil Nadu, south is very good. Here, first preference is east, and North India has got different. So I was benefited by that, because even the current house, what I am dwelling, that was, no one was taker. The house was just idle. No one was coming to purchase. And I came forward because the gate was facing the street. We just modified certain things which we can do, because tomorrow if I want to sell, people have to buy. So I was like that. I did purchase a couple of properties which was not this thing. But when it came to business, my partner was extremely believing in Vastu. So I went ahead and we purchased some properties, and then he started defending that this is for south business is okay, this is okay and all. Overall, we were, but we were not against that knowledge, but I thought it is being interpreted, and people were making people insecure, and they were doing business. Because any new Vastu expert I have seen, he says, I won't charge any fees. You do whatever I say, and then pay me if things work out. See, always you have two choices: either things will work out, things don't work out, and 50% of the cases they will do well, and he will say it is because of my corrections.
So it's like saying, will I going to be blessed with a boy or a girl? 50% success rate. Huh? So if they say girl, 50% will come back. If that fellow wanted a boy and girl come, he'll not come back. This fellow is a fake Swami, they'll say. This fellow is a fake food suit sir, they'll say. So it's a good business proposition, sir. Nanu start panna note nanikren, neenga advice kodungo. How do I start? Right. Anything else, Setuji?
Yeah, Hariom.
Hariom ji. The moment I said, give me a business proposition, he said nothing more to say. Enna sir idu? Harish, can you please advise? I would like to get into that business proposition. Can you please give me a proposal? Can you be my advisor on board?
Guruji, you are the expert here. We are just learning. Guruji, very interesting note that I've also seen a lot of people when they do the vasatus and they said, oh, after the renovation,
What's that?
or
what is that they do?
When they renovate, when they believe in the vasatus by
What is that? Sorry, Harish, we all having a laugh at it here. But what is that word you're saying?
Vasatu? Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, you're mispronouncing it. That's the reason we're having a good laugh.
Vastu?
It's called Vastu. You're right. Yeah.
Vastu. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
We all are very bad at you, Harish. You know, so you should never forgive us, huh?
No, Guruji, absolutely is fine. When people are believing in vastus, I've also seen a lot of people in my life. They said when they perform vastus in their house and change directions or change situations, a lot of them tell me that their lives have become so much better. There's more peace. The health is better. The finances are better. They come with that conclusion after they've made the changes. How does one justify that statement from those people? And they say prior to the vastus, it was a very bad situation. After we made the changes, it's so much better.
It's
so
like,
I don't know if
it's like my mom used to say, whenever you leave a house, somebody sneezes, something inauspicious, you'll have an accident, something bad will happen. And let's say tomorrow that happens, I will go back and say, correct, accident happened because you sneezed. Is that kind of logic and reasoning you're presenting to me? You know, Harish, there are 4 stages of intellectual development. You know, what are the 4 stages of intellectual development? The first stage is known as the age of perception or the age of gazing. Then came the era where there's age of superstition or age of perception. What is the first age?
age of
gazing. So first
perception
is age
or
of
gazing. Perception or
gazing.
gazing.
Second is age of observation or age of superstition, the second era. The third era is the age of scientific inquiry. And the last stage of intellectual development is age of contemplation. So I repeat, the first is age of perception or age of gazing. The second is age of observation or the age of superstition. The third is age of scientific inquiry. And the fourth is the age of contemplation. Now, in the age of gazing, there is no logical thought process. You just gaze. It's like cattle that gaze at the world. Nothing happens within their heads. A cattle is sitting right in the center of a cross junction, and it doesn't realize that it's creating chaos around it. But it is just simply gazing and perceiving the world. Then comes the age of observation, when you start observing things happening in the world and you start correlating a wrong cause to a wrong effect. You start correlating. And that's the age of superstition, where you start operating your life on various superstitious beliefs and various practices that currently, in fact, are flourishing in the spiritual field. In fact, superstitious beliefs are actually the non-essentials of religion. One of the non-essentials of religion is superstitious beliefs. And that's when the age of superstition is where you connect a wrong cause to wrong effect. But scientific inquiry is where you connect a right cause to a right effect. So the cause-effect relationship is rightfully established. So what you are giving me an example of is you believe in certain superstitions, and when things start happening, you start correlating to a wrong cause. It could be sheer coincidence. The transformation or good luck or something has happened better in your life, not because of the vastus, because of your own efforts or some other reason, but you don't realize the right reason, but you attribute it to that is conditioned thinking, or you're reasoning in circles. You're not thinking clearly. A large percentage of people in the spiritual field, when it comes to spirituality, they become non-scientific. And Vedanta is a science. Let's understand that. It is more scientific than science itself. And it doesn't accept anything irrationally. So if anybody in this classroom or anybody who believes in those things, I would not say stop believing. I would only say start questioning it. I'm no one here to unsettle you. The knowledge is not to unsettle you, but knowledge is to comfort you and take you further. But start questioning. By itself, how can that have got anything to do with my destiny? No, we all do things on Muhurt. Don't you also believe in Muhurt, Harish? Right time, auspicious time?
Guruji,
Oh, you don't, is it?
well, I've stopped believing in the astronomy and astrology after over the many years after joining this class, Guruji. I've stopped believing in all these vastus and astrology and astronomies per se.
Okay.
I'm trying to follow the teaching that we have to follow the logic, and the intellect has to be rational
to be rational, yes. But even to those who believe in astrology and astronomy or any of this auspicious time and things, let's say an emergency, a medical emergency arises. Ready, Garu? What should we do, sir? The doctor says right away, open heart surgery has to be performed. That fellow has got a heart attack. Shall we call the Pandit to the hospital and decide what the stars and planets are saying when that fellow should go for the surgery?
Then the doctor should first read the astrology.
No. Imagine if a patient is saying, I will wait for a thing to surgery. What would you accept to that kind of reasoning?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Doctors say you delay even by half a day. We can't postpone by a couple of hours. It has to be operated right away. There's a massive heart attack and he has to be operated. You say, I will go and see whether Muhurtam is right or not to do it. If a marriage doesn't happen well, they blame the timing, marriage timing. What has a marriage timing got to do with the relationship not going well? It has got nothing to do with that.
Guruji, here in context of Harish, he was mentioning about that the people do some corrections and they feel a comfort level and they feel that things have been improved. In my observation, it's more of a psychological game of confidence which plays.
Yeah.
Because you see in your circumstances, so many positive things are happening and negative things are happening simultaneously, but you always ignore what positive things are happening because you are psychologically deprived with so many issues and concerns and expectations not happen. So you always get attracted to the negatives, just ignoring the positive things which are being possibly happening in front of you, but you are ignorant on that part. The moment these corrections or somebody come, it's like creating a belief and faith on those sort of things. Then what happens? You start focusing more on the positive aspects, ignoring the negative. That's the way the shift takes place, and the way your efforts goes up, and everything you attribute for some good positive things. I think that's what I see in the majority of the cases, and we attribute all this to the person who has come and taught you and given a guidance to you. And I also come across the people with a very good families doing well, and somebody come and told that you can going to be good to great. Then they started demolishing the houses, correcting the houses, and they brought the loans and they become pauper. And whatever they used to believe in the world of reasonable lifestyle gone vain. I seen the struggle what they started there. So we don't really acknowledge those negative aspects. Unfortunately, we take one few positive angles, and it's all depends upon the person to person. Nothing to do that there is a standard rational laws are applicable to each and every one. That's not my perception.
It's true. No, so therefore, I think the conclusion is, as I said, you have to be rational as much as possible. Don't accept it on any blind faith or superstition which has prevailed with time. It has gained popularity, no doubt, but that doesn't make it any more valid or real. You have to use your intellect, reason, and judgment. Right. I think we'll come back. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.